2, 3, 4. Cecilia, goodbye. Okay, boys. Oh, goodbye, Cecilia. Goodbye, Cecilia. Goodbye, Cecilia. Goodbye. Show 'em what you got. Now, goodbye, Cecilia. Goodbye, Cecilia. Goodbye, Cecilia. Goodbye.
Hi, welcome to the Every.Thing.After podcast. I'm your host, Rob, and in the studio with me today, I have Lea Marra of Lea Marra and the River Boys. Lea, you have a Cleveland-based band, correct?
Yep.
That you style as porch folk, which I think is really interesting. I think that folk music has come a long way. I think that it's really showed a lot of breadth, especially in the last few years. We get a whole lot of variety in folk, which I really enjoy. But I've been listening to your album and your music all day today. Just very excited to talk to you about your music and your influences. And get into some of the performances that you're doing here in the area, any plans you have to maybe tour outside the area. But thanks so much and welcome to the podcast. How are you today?
Good. Thanks so much for having me. I appreciate you reaching out.
Yeah. So, as I mentioned, your band is called Lea Marra and the River Boys, and you have a new album out, fairly new out, correct? It came out in the last year.
Yeah, it came out in March 2024. So it turned, a little more than a year old now,
Okay.
which is kind of crazy. And
Yeah.
we're looking to record some new music. That's probably not going to be happening until 2026. So definitely keep your eye out on that one. And it'll probably be released in that year as well, because we're recording early on in the year if everything pans out.
Yeah. So prior to this band, you were in a group called the Dreamcatchers?
So, yeah, actually, before the Dreamcatchers, I had a band through high school and my college years, and it lasted 8 years. And we were called the Tom Catleys. And then once that kind of, we all departed from that, which was a really big thing in my life, for 8 years.
Yeah.
So I kind of started like my solo projects and having like like a backing band kind of, but then it became more like a band, but my name was in front. So I started Lea Marra and the Dreamcatchers in 2019. And originally it was just like asking a bunch of people that I knew played certain instruments to come in the studio and just record the album with me. I didn't really have a plan for them to like play out with me, to maybe just like a few gigs here and there, and like kind of like hired musicians in a way. But then while we were in the studio, a lot of them were like, yeah, we want to like keep playing with you. We really like the music and everything. So then it came more like a band instead of like hired musicians. And so that lasted until 2022 or 2021, kind of. And a lot of them departed after my release or during my release in 2021 of my sophomore album, which was titled Healing. The pandemic kind of really shook things up at the time, and a lot of people were going separate ways and doing things, moving out of town, whatever. So, yeah, that's kind of what happened. And then I was really kind of bummed about the whole thing and trying to figure out what direction to go, and the music was kind of changing up. The Dreamcatchers were more of like a indie pop, alternative country, some people would say. And then the music was turning more into folky, grassy aspects. And so with that, started Lea Marra and the River Boys. So yeah, and here we are now.
Yeah, a lot has happened for you in a relatively short period of time, and it's just interesting to me because you look so young, and you talk about being in a band through high school and college.
I am 32, so getting up there.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
do they call us? Is it like mid-age now? 30's like mid-age or something
Oh my
crazy?
gosh, don't say that. What am
No.
I then? Over the hill. I think it's so interesting to hear about your history and how you got into music and the bands that you played with. Was your family always musical?
So my mom is artistic. She's actually an art teacher. And then my dad was in bands in the 70s, and he played guitar, rhythm guitar, and I think he wrote some songs and sang. He was like the front man as well. And so growing up, we had a piano in our house, and he also had an acoustic guitar. And so he would play here and there, but I was
Hmm.
just kind of drawn to the piano and would just like make up stuff when I was like younger. And then they decided to get me some lessons when I was 7. And then I did that 7 to 10. And then, like at that time, I think it was like 2003, 2004 era. And, School of Rock came out,
Hmm.
Freaky Friday came out, and there's another one, and it was like, definitely focused on like younger rock bands and
Yeah,
all that. And so I was like, oh my gosh, I want to do that. And
yeah.
so then at 10 years old, I started learning the guitar, and he showed me a few chords, and then I started taking lessons. But right away when he showed me, you know, G, E minor, C, and D, like made a song right away of
Oh,
like
that's
my
amazing.
fifth grade crush.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
It just came naturally to you. You just picked it up and just kind of flowed. That's amazing. Did you spend a lot of time like out with your dad when he was performing, like at different concerts and shows?
No, he actually stopped playing like when my brother and I were born. So
Really?
yeah, so I mean like out and stuff, but he would
Yeah.
play around the house and sing. But yeah, I mean, just kind of
It was definitely
happened.
something that you could bond over though, then, correct?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he comes to almost all the shows. He doesn't like to miss one, and he likes to hear the other bands too playing, and
Hmm.
so it's nice to have that support from the beginning.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's so great. So I kind of, I like I said, I like the how you describe your music as porch folk. I think that's amazing because I grew up in West Virginia myself,
Oh,
and so I'm a little
nice.
familiar with porch music. And
Yeah,
we'd get together, and whenever there was a family reunion, inevitably somebody would start playing music,
yeah,
and it was like nobody was ever really in anything like official or a band or anything like that, but somebody would start playing something, and people would start singing, and it would just turn into something. And I
that's
just think that's
awesome.
incredible how that happens, you know.
Yeah.
And it sounds like that's something you've also experienced in your life.
Yeah, I mean, so I was asking people about genres, like, what do you think I am? Because that's been a really hard thing to decide, you know?
Hmm.
And I would write a lot of my songs on my porch. So that's, someone was like, a porch folk, you know, would be
Yeah.
great. And the Dreamcatchers actually started practicing on one of our members' porch too, and kind
Hmm.
of, which was fun once in a while. Yeah, experiencing that is really cool that you had that experience of people just like picking up a instrument and playing and
Hmm.
everyone's just around started singing. That's a really great experience for sure.
Yeah. So your music really sort of speaks to that to me, like to that part of my heart, I think. You've been inspired by musicians like the Cranberries and
Hmm.
Sixpence None the Richer and like
Hmm.
Dolly Parton and Shania Twain. So that's just kind of all over the spectrum, right? Tell me a
Yeah.
little bit about that, about
Yeah.
how those musicians inspired you.
Well, growing up, my like, back in when I was like younger, I don't know, 5, 6 years old, my one cousin, you know, she is older. She's about 20 years older than me. And so she would pick me up and she had a Cranberry CD in her car. And so she like introduced me to the Cranberries and
Hmm.
they were like not new, but like they were still like pretty relevant at the time. And so that's kind of how I got into that and like listening to the radio, you know, they were on there. And I just like fell in love with Dolores's voice. I think it's super
Hmm.
unique and their songwriting is really cool and the musicality. And then, you know, like Shania Twain was happening at that time and I would hear Shania Twain on the radio. And I've heard, you know, I've deep dived into Dolly a little more than I had before and listening to different records of her. And then, of course, like Alanis Morissette was also
Hmm.
in the realm of that whole thing. I like just love her and I love her writing and her voice and like you know the Chicks too. It's
Hmm.
all like a lot of that 90s pop country was I was listening to a lot of that at the time and then I was listening to pop, you know, like Christina Aguilera, Britney Spears, you know, all in like the early 2000s that was happening in 98. So I don't know, I just became influenced by a bunch of stuff and I like a variety of music to listen to. And I would listen to a lot of the radio growing up because my mom would have just different stations on, you know. She would even have 105.7 that would play like the actual like oldies, like news and 40s and 60s music. And so I really gravitated towards like that type of music too, in a way. Um, yeah, there's just so much, you know, that I just was influenced by and just heard
I think
when
that's
I was
great.
growing up.
I think the
Yeah.
best music really has no genre. I think it, or at least it fits in maybe a variety of genres, or you know, it's this slash this slash this anymore. You see
Yeah.
that all the time, you know.
I think it's great because, like, someone, you know, we played a show somewhere, I can't remember, and someone came up and was like, I've never experienced this type of music before. I've never seen these type of instruments like before, and this is really cool, you know? And I think that's really cool to have people like experience a new experience of music
Hmm.
and seeing new instruments and hearing them in a different way,
Yeah.
you know, and not fitting in like the box, you know. We have grassy aspects to us, but we're not bluegrass. We have
Hmm.
folky aspects to us, but we're not folky. I have some indie. You can even tell like a wee bit of rock things going on.
Hmm.
It's just like a and pop, you know, it's just a broad genre, and I think there's a lot of people who are like, it has to be this type of genre. You can't be intertwined with all this stuff. And I just think that's lame.
I think that it's getting more and more common. I think that music has just evolved and it's going to continue to evolve. That's what music does, right? It's art.
Yeah.
So tell me, what was the first concert you remember going to? What was your first concert experience?
The most iconic first concert I went to was when I was in 7th grade. I traveled to Meadville, Pennsylvania. I grew up in Geauga County, so that wasn't too far from us. I saw Rascal Flatts. I was a huge Rascal Flatts fan as well.
Yeah.
In my middle school era, I was like country and then emo music. So, that was
Yeah.
I think you can definitely tell that in my
I,
writing.
definitely.
So yeah, it was Rascal Flatts, and it was really cool. It was really iconic, and I was just like in awe of how good they were and how his vocals were like spot on. I was like, whoa, this is really cool. And it was at like a county fair too, which was kind of a cool little, surroundings. But yeah, that was one of the first ones that's really stuck out to me.
So tell me what a Lea Marra and the River Boys concert is like. Give me paint a picture for me of a concert. I'm going to get out to see one, by the way, very soon and take some photos. But give me
Okay. We try to keep it high energy. We try to pick songs that are, people can dance to and have fun. And I don't know, we just like having a good time. People seem to really like it. We try to be, entertaining. We try to have some comic relief in between some bantering. We want it to be like a nice porch party, I guess.
Yeah, and you play all over the place too in the area too, right? I mean, you'll play an outdoor festival, you may play a country club, you'll play, like one of our live music venues here in the Northeast Ohio area. What are some of your favorite places to play?
We're actually, Forest City Brewery is coming up, and that's a really cool spot inside and outside. Really like it. We always get a decent crowd there that's very receptive. So definitely that spot. And I'm trying to think of what favorite music venue. We played at the Tree Lawn, and that has a really cool vibe to it. It's very similar to the Beachland Ballroom, but it's I don't know if it's older or not, but it has a really cool vibe in there. And the way we had it set up was more of like a listening room, so that was really fun. And we played different little festivals here and there, and I really liked when we played the Pawpaw Fest. That was with the Dreamcatchers at the time. But yeah, I really like anything like outside or unique type of venue that has like a good listening crowd, I play solo too, and I just played like a bar gig last night, and so that's a totally different realm of things. And it's like, yeah, you're gonna be the background music and no one's gonna really pay attention because they're there to watch the sports game and eat food, which is fine, whatever. So yeah, it's always fun with the band to have an interactive crowd as well.
Yeah.
And just people to have fun with. So
Yeah. So tell me about your band. You have a mandolin player, you have a upright bass, you have a banjo player, fiddle player. Introduce us to your band and tell us about each one of them and maybe how you met them and how they got involved with your group.
Yeah. So my upright bass player has been with me the longest. His name is Spencer Paul. He joined the band in I think early 2022. He was in the transition phase of the Dreamcatchers and River Boys, and I just found him on the internet. I put it out on Facebook. I'm looking for a bass player. I would like to have an upright bass player, and this other local musician suggested him, and he was in another band before that was similar to our genre, and it fit well, and he liked the music, and so that's how that came about. And then Chase Franklin is my banjo player, and he joined the band a little later than Spencer, but in the same year, again in the transitional phase of Dreamcatchers into River Boys. Met him through my boyfriend, kind of knew him or knew of him and was like, hey, you should check out this guy, he's learning banjo, and he just started playing the banjo, I think, when I got him to be in the band. And so, he has progressed a lot and is also very, very helpful with different things like setting up our sound. And he also sings a lot of the harmonies that I used to have another person in the band that would sing harmonies a lot, and it was kind of like really, really key to the music. So he stepped up and tried taking that role as well. So that's how he came about in the band. And then our mandolin player has been in our band for almost 2 years now. He joined at the end of 2024 in November, and he just moved here from Detroit, Michigan at that time. And so I put out a thing, I need a mandolin player, and he's like, I'd like to apply, or I'd like to audition for that role. And I was like, okay. And so, yeah, he was a good fit. And then he's been with us since then. And then we just added our fiddle player about a year ago. He came here for his internship, which was actually an internship I did here. And so my internship advisor connected us. And he's originally from North Carolina. And so he is staying here now. And he's in a bunch of different bands in the scene as well. So yeah, that's kind of, and his name is Forrest Britt, sorry. And my mandolin player is Joe Ha. Forgot to tell you their names.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
All that instrumentation, you put all that together and it creates something just magical, I think. So tell me a little bit about this album. And do you do most of the songwriting yourself, or is that kind of a group effort at all?
So I write the structure of the song, I write the lyrics, and then they add the guitar parts, and then they add more instrumentation to the song. They're like, hey, this would be a good lick here, or we should have a breakdown here using the same chords that you're using, but maybe like just repeat these instead and then go into that, So, I mean, it's kind of how that goes, I guess. Like, I have the main product and then adding some frills and all that is needed to it to make it like a full production.
Yeah. And so Ace of Cups, tell me about some of the inspiration behind that, where the songs sort of come from. What you're kind of they're all sort of about your life. So tell me a little bit about some of the moments in your life that have inspired these songs.
Yeah. So the album as a whole is titled Ace of Cups because it is a tarot card. I always say it wrong. Tarot. Anyways, so it means new beginnings. And so I thought that would be an excellent choice. And my Spencer actually came up with that. And I was like, yeah, that's a really great idea, Spencer. And so, because it was the transition of an ending of the Dreamcatchers into this new realm of music and new band. And so, some of the songs I wrote a while ago, and I thought, they would be good for this. And we've been working on them. Dizzy, for example, is the first track. And I struggle with anxiety, as many people do, and I kind of am just doing it the holistic way, And so that song is just about the journey of how sometimes it hits you when you don't even think it's going to, and I would get dizzy, and so I was like, what the heck? Why am I feeling this way? I'm like, I was just having some anxiety attack. It's not a big deal, it'll go away.
Extremely relatable.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, maybe that would be a good song. And so then I just started and I was like, maybe I'll put it in drop D to make it all dramatic, And so that's how it became. There's a love song called Chocolate and Flowers, and that tells the story of how my boyfriend and I got together, and he really did just leave chocolates and flowers on my car. He was recording with me and with the Dreamcatchers, and he was during COVID, and I was like, I don't want to be by anybody, and so so that's it's a love song and just about like my past relationships and how this is a healthy one and all that. And I'm trying to think, Lorelei is kind of a trippy song, and it just like talks about like an experience that some may have in the realm of what you might go through, and like having someone there to ground you, and it can go hand in hand with anxiety as well, kind of, and being disassociated with things, and mental health. It can be related to mental health. But yeah, is there any particular song you had to ask about or wanted to ask about?
I think that's great, just to give a sense of where some of these songs are coming from. I think you have some of the best like folksy names in your songs. Lorelei is a great name for a folk
Thank
song.
you.
Cecilia is a great name for a folk song. So the
Yeah.
next one, I think that's a great one.
Thank you.
I also noticed that with the Dreamcatchers, you put out a Christmas album.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, I was like, you know what? I think it would be great if we try to make a Christmas album, see how it goes, or it's an EP, and then we'll do this like really extravagant show, and so I have put on events, and I am also an executive director for a nonprofit music festival that I took on when I was 19. So I'm always like, yeah, let's make it like top notch, and I'm gonna have all these decorations. I'm gonna get Santa to come, and we're gonna have someone MC it, and we'll be like, oh my God, Santa's here, and whatever.
Yeah.
So went way too extra on that. But yeah, we made a Christmas EP, and I made some songs.
Yeah. You have 3 original songs, and then you did Auld Lang Syne as well. But I think that's great because, aren't we all just like over like the usual Christmas songs by now? They just play them
Yeah.
so much. You have a song on here called A Candy Cane Christmas, and I can't
Yeah.
help but be reminded of Dolly's Hard Candy Christmas.
Yeah, that's
So,
true. That's so I
which
didn't
is one
even
of my
think of
favorites.
that.
That's because that's a Christmas song that doesn't get played a lot, but
It is. It is. Yeah, I don't know. I thought of that one when it was like 2020 Christmas, and I
Mhm.
was just like by myself and just thinking like, maybe next year it'll be better.
Curious if there's any more you can say about your songwriting process, because I'm just so fascinated by that, just the
Yeah.
creation of something, from nothing.
Yeah, it's really interesting. My process before used to be sit down with the guitar, start playing some chords, and then melodies would come. And then while the melodies would come, words would start coming just like off the top of my head. And then I would kind of rephrase the lyrics as time went on while I'm still in the writing process and being like, that works better. And then just knowing what chords go with what chords and keys and everything. And then as I learn more of that, of the theory aspect, which is really important to create like more, not complex, but complex in a way songs, which mine are not complex at all. They're very simple. It's nice to know like, okay, I could change keys here, and this is like a leading note that'll go to that, and that's this chord, And so it's like variety to the ear and more appealing to people to listen to. But nowadays, now that I'm older, I used to be able to write a song within like 10 minutes, when I was younger. But now it's taken me a lot longer, and because I'm thinking about it more and I'm driving a lot. Sometimes a melody will like come in my head when I'm like listening to songs, or whatever, and then I'm like, okay, turn off the song, turn on my voice memos, I'm gonna sing this, and then I'm gonna see how it comes about. And that's how I made Good Man. Good Man actually was like one of those that I just like, okay, I don't know, this came to my head. And then I go back and try to find the chords that'll go with it and the key that fits, and then more of the lyrics come, revise it, complete usually. Well, then I show it to the boys, and then it's not fully complete because they're like, actually, we should do this instead. I'm like, that's a good idea. So yeah, it's just it's an interesting process for sure, that I go through.
How does your band like being referred to as the Boys or the River Boy?
Yeah, they like it. They actually want, my bassist was like, our name should be something Boys. And I'm like, all right, let me think of it. And I was like, playing with like the whole they're from, most of them are from Cuyahoga County area-ish, you know.
Mhm.
And so then I was thinking Cuyahoga, that means Crooked River. I don't want to say the Crooked River Boys. So I'm like, we'll just go with the River Boys, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
It was really hard to think of a name. It's just kind of simple and whatever, you know, generic. But hey, it works. They like it. It's easy for people to remember, I think. And our logos have definitely been taken off too. And then I thought, like, originally I was like, oh, the River Boys, okay, what am I gonna do with that? And then I thought, okay, the concept could be cool to have like animals that go by the river that you would see by the river, you know, to like whatever, or you know. So that's how that came about. And so
It's like Emmett Otter and his jug band.
yeah.
Another Christmas reference for you, folksy.
But yeah, and so I kind of gave everybody their own woodland creature spirit animal, and I was
That's
like,
great.
okay, you know, and some of them picked theirs, and some of them like this would work for them, and I told the artist what to do, and took off. So
What is your woodland animals,
I just
spirit animal?
I did a doe. I
Hmm.
thought, you know, I don't know, would be good, I suppose. I don't know.
There's no story there about
No,
why. No,
not
you
really.
were
Nope, I'm like, you know
you
what?
weren't
I think,
traumatized by Bambi as a child, and that's
you know,
like stuck
yeah,
with you all this time.
I kind of,
We
you
all
know, maybe
were.
subconsciously, and I don't even know it, and that's why I'm like, I'm a doe. It makes sense now. Wow.
And what are the woodland animals for the rest of your band?
So Spencer is like, his spirit animal, as he said, is a possum because he is sassy and trashy. And Chase chose the raccoon. He is, I don't know. He's not really like a raccoon, but he's kind of like absorbing that energy of a raccoon. And then Joe is a fox, you know. Forrest picked, well, I did pick his. He's the river otter, and he likes otters ironically, so he had that connection to begin with. Yeah, we're still working on finding our spiritual connection.
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll take in any Native American traditions there to find our spirit animal, but
I really need you to find an animator so that you can put together at least a music video.
oh my gosh.
And then I think somebody's going to see that and they're going to make a whole Christmas special out of it.
Well, then we're just gonna
And
have to make another Christmas album.
I see it very clearly happening now.
Already thinking about like trying to eventually get an animation, a music video with the woodland creatures.
Yeah.
Because that's just, those things have been taken off. Our merch, people love them. They don't even hear us play, and they're like, I want a shirt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Lea Marra and the River Boys Christmas special coming soon.
That would be cute.
But what do you sort of see in the near future for you and your band? I know you said that you're probably going to have a new album come out next year. So
Mhm.
I imagine that'll occupy quite a bit of your time, and you're not taking a break from performing because you're kind of all over the place. What's the next thing, the next big thing that you see?
I'm hoping once we release this album, we'll be able to do some touring, you
Hmm.
know, even if it's little runs here and there with everyone's schedule and jobs. We have traveled. Last November was like the biggest one I've ever been on, which wasn't much at all. It was like 4 days. And so we went to Pittsburgh, and then from Pittsburgh, we went to Cumberland, Maryland. Then Cumberland, Maryland, we went to Spencer, West Virginia. And then we came back home, so whatever, 3, 4 days.
Yeah.
And so I'm hoping we'll be able to do more things like that. I think it's really important to get our music out to different audiences, especially in different states, the best we can as being very grassroots type of people.
Hmm. Well, that's great. So one thing that we like to do on this show is to sort of dream big and manifest some things. So if you could talk a little bit about a tour, who would you tour with? You know, like who do you think you would vibe with? You know, whether that's on a local, regional level or a big act that you could potentially open for.
I mean, it would be sweet to open up for Sierra Farrell or Margot Price or
Hmm.
even Chloe Kim's. But yeah, it would be really cool to like open up for an act that has a lot of followers or even, popular at the time. I'm getting exposed to their audience would be great. And to be on bigger festivals would be cool too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've been around the Cleveland music scene for a while. Who were some of your favorite Cleveland music scene performers, bands? Who are your friends in that area? You could shout out.
So I don't really know them, but I really like King Boo. I really like their performances and their vibe and songs. I'm not sure if they're playing out anymore. I like Sea Level. They're high energy. They're my pals. I like who else do I like? I like Cowboy Princess Brigade. They're fun to watch and they're fun to listen to. I like Chloe and the Steel Strings. They're from Toledo. They're super, super kind people and very talented. I'm trying to think. There's a lot of people. I'm just trying to, I don't know. It's hard to think on the spot sometimes,
that's great. You came up with some great ones there.
Yeah, but there's a lot of good local music. Oh, Cellophane Jane.
Yeah.
They're awesome. He was in my first band. So Alex and I go back.
Yeah.
And we released an album together too under the Tom Catleys. We've always been talking about, hey, we should maybe like do something for fun and have one gig together or something.
Yeah, that'd be a cool collaboration, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you want to talk about any shows coming up that you'd like to promote or anything? Where should people look for you guys to check you out?
So if you want to come see us live, look us up at leamarramusic.com, and I have a full schedule of where we're going to be and when we're going to be there. And then if you live in Ashtabula County, we are going to be at Driftwood Point in Geneva. It's a really cool spot right on the lake. It's like a beach restaurant, and we always love playing there. And then if you're in Columbus, it's our second time playing in Columbus, so we would love to see you there. We are playing at the Rambling House with 65 North Pickers, who are from Kentucky, and so we're really excited to be back there. And then in September, we're going to be at the Heights Hop in Cleveland Heights that was actually the first Dreamcatcher gig, so I'm excited to be back there and play again as this band. And then we also are actually going to be Jubileego Fest, which is, I think, in New London, Ohio, like close to, like, Wakeman area. I'm not really sure. But check it out, and hopefully we'll see you around sometime.
Like I said, busy. You guys do a lot. You do a lot of shows, and I know you do solo stuff too. So you're kind of all over the place. So definitely some opportunities to check you out coming up here. That's awesome. And Lea, I think you said something about playing a song for us at the end of this.
Yeah, would love to. Let me get my guitar real quick. Do you have any requests from the Ace of Cups album?
Well, I say whatever you feel like playing. I would love to hear. And could you tell me, you have a story about your guitar, your instrument?
So I actually used to play Ovations, and my first guitar was actually my dad's guitar. He gave it to me, and it was an Ovation, and I was playing that for a very long time. And then I upgraded to a Martin a couple years ago. I was in Chicago and went to the Chicago Music Exchange, which was a really cool place, and tried out a Taylor and a Martin. I felt connection more to the Martin, and so I made the purchase,
Yeah.
I'm gonna just do the investment and make it happen. So it was a very good purchase. I'm excited to have this instrument.
Do you name your guitars? Do you name your instruments at all?
I actually don't.
Yeah.
I know, I should. What do you think? What do you think she is or he is?
Yeah, I think that's a she. I don't know.
I think it's a she too. Lola.
Lola's good. Lola's not bad at all. Yeah, that's not bad.
Okay, so sorry. Tuning. All right, I'm gonna try to have this microphone not as close so it's blaring. This one's a popular one, Chocolate and Flowers. like a run a circle in June, and he keeps on writing songs about me too. Well, you think you're bad news, but I don't think that's true. You brought me chocolates and flowers so soon. I don't know what else you'll do. I don't know what else you'll do. Where there was this boy used to date too. He was mean as the cold in the winter through, or because he was a shade of dark blue. Well, this new boy I've been talking to, he's so sweet like the honeysuckle in June, and he keeps on writing songs about me too. Well, you think you're bad news, but I don't think that's true. You brought me chocolates and flowers so soon. I don't know what else you'll do. I don't know what else you'll do.
That sounded so good. Thank you so much
Thank
for doing
you.
that. I love that.
Thank you.
That's
I'm glad
great.
you liked it. I appreciate
Yeah.
you asking.
Awesome. Thank you. And thanks so much for being on the podcast. It's been so great talking to you and
Yeah,
getting
it
to
was
know
nice
you.
talking to
I
you
really
too.
appreciate it a lot.
Thank you. Thanks so much for asking me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. And I will see you soon at the show.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good.
Okay.
All right. Have a good night.
Thanks, Leah. You too.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey, this is Scott Paris. I want to do a quick shout out for Every.Thing.After podcast.
And my ETA.
My ETA is
And my ETA.
And our Everything After is.
Our everything after.
And my ETA is...
Oh, hey, how's it going? I know you've been going through some stuff. I think we all have. And it's not all bad. But maybe there's enough of that you feel like putting something good back out in the world. Maybe you pick up a guitar or a camera. Maybe you decide to do a podcast or finally write that book. Maybe it's all of those things. It's not the things that happen to us that define us so much as everything after. And that's what we talk about on the Everything After podcast, where we have conversations with musicians and artists and filmmakers and writers, just creatives who are striving to keep their sanity by doing the things that they love and following their passions. If that sounds like you, we hope you'll join our Everything After community on Instagram. And like, listen, and subscribe to our podcasts that release weekly on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Thanks for listening. Until the next thing.